Hi, what I'm going to do on this video is I'm going to show you how to cut brick out of stucco. This is the way I always do things. And then at the end of the video I'll show you a little more and some other ideas and techniques. What we did is we're making our sample. And I just put a little molding around here. This is black paper. Most of the time when you're doing this kind of thing they want maybe one Tyvek, one black paper, two black papers. Every inspector is going to tell you something different. Sometimes they want you to caulk around here. Sometimes they want you to put this seal stuff in around to keep the water in. Whatever you do, if you don't agree with them, get it in writing. Let them take the liability. Then you put your wire mesh on. See, this is the wire mesh, and this is dimpled. I don't know, when you look down there, you see the dimples in there? Dimples stick in. It's a new thing. Not a new thing, but they want you to put that so it stays away a little bit and the cement gets behind it. Do I agree with it? Depends on the job. So that's it. Now we're just going to connect this with either tar nails or screws, and it's just a sample. Now we attached our screen. About every 6 inches you put a screw or a tar nail, and then you just get your cement. I mixed this 2 to 1, like 2 buckets of sand to 1 bucket of S mortar. 2 to 1. We want to put it in here flat, and we want to make sure that that wire mesh is completely covered. Once we get it flat, we just get the brush. We brush it like this, real lightly, because we want the next course to stick. So now we're just going to wait. This is our sample. Now we let the cement dry on the bottom. And some people with the screen, they wait up to a month before they put another coat on this, because this is all going to shrink and crack up. And when you go over it, it's already shrunk and cracked up. So the first thing I do is I use my little sprayer here, and I always wet so I know my second coat's going to stick. And we're putting our second coat of stucco on right now. Now we're using this trowel to make sure it's as flat as we can get it, because when we put our white coat on, we want everything, and we cut the brick out, we want it even. What I'm going to do now is mix some white cement and some white silica sand. I'm going to mix it 2 to 1. They're both white. Now we mixed our white cement. See, this is pretty hard. Just about stick your finger you have to kind of push to get the dent in here. Then you get your white cement like this, and you put a coat of white cement over that, just like this, you see? Not too thick, because we're going to be cutting into it. Now the same thing, we want to make it real flat, and we want to make absolutely sure that the other coat isn't showing through. Now here we are, we let it dry for a while, it lost its shininess, and the same thing, you can just about press it in. So what we want to do is we get a bucket of water and a sponge. I don't know if you can see this. We rinse that sponge out. Good flat sponge, see how it's flat? And we just do this, and it gives like a sand finish. And once we got our sand finish in, we're going to wait again, and then we're going to start cutting our brick out. Okay, now we're ready to cut out our brick. And this is a wall tie, same kind of thing they use for brick. The only thing you do is you bend it like this, and you put it over a stick like that. You see that? Then you tape it. That's your tool. And we have a spacing rule. I already made all my marks. Before you even mix the cement, you should make all your marks where you're going to do. And then what you do is you get your level, and you go from mark to mark, and you get your thing and you cut just like that. You see that? Now you made your first cut. See? There's your first cut. Then you go to your second cut, and you continue on like that. I don't have anybody else to hold the level for me. And we're cutting our brick out. Now I already have my marks here for my going up and down. So if I'm going to do that, I go right there, I make it level, Right there I make it level, and then I go this way. And then one down this way, because if you go one up and one down. Then you go to your next brick. One up, one down. Then I go to my next mark and make that level. I go to the next brick. I go down. I do this so I don't chip it, you see. Now you're going to notice I got all the same size brick here. When I get to that, it's big. We're going to put a roll lock there. That means, just like a bricklayer, you put a roll lock. It's a soldier course, they call it. Say you're trying to get up underneath the window or whatever you're trying to do. It's another way to make brickwork work. A lot of times you don't have to you could just use one color cement if you're doing stucco and then paint over it all the time. I'm going to show you some examples at the end where all I did was cut it out of regular cement and then you just paint the whole job, any color you want. But that right there is my sample. You see it? You just brush it off with a brush. Tomorrow you brush the same thing off. That's going to be my sample. Now I got a little chip here. See that little chip? You just get a little of that white cement. This is why I like white cement. You can't go wrong with it. Come back the next day, the day after, a year after, you could always patch it up. See that? You won't even see it. Any other color cement, you won't match it. Best thing off is you're best off with stucco paint. That's my sample. I could even go down here, because that's the way I figured it out, and cut this part out, see? Right there, like that. Always go away from your joint so you don't chip the brick. That's how you cut. Everybody does things different, but it's the way I do it. Everybody's got their own style. There ain't anything wrong with anything as long as it looks good when you're done. Now if you build a house and it has big overhangs like this over the windows, you usually don't have any problem with water infiltration behind the stucco and behind the windows. Stucco around the steel door. We put this edge down. We put that in there. To make our design, we fill it with cement. You see as we come around the corner where it stops here and the cement comes here. And now we cut it out with stucco. See, we just cut it out here. Here we add this piece on here. See, it's a plastic piece. Then we cut out the stucco right here, like on the brick.